Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Senior Living Live. We are on site at a beautiful Arbor community in Lakeway, Texas, and I'm so lucky today to be joined by AJ Cipperly, who is here with us. She works with the Arbor Company, and actually, why don't you tell us exactly who you are and what you do?
Yeah, thanks, Mary Kate. So my name is AJ Cipperly. I am the Vice President of Memory Care for the Arbor Company. And I have been in the field serving people living with dementia and their families for, 20 plus years now in various, ways and different locations. And so just truly blessed to be doing what I do.
Absolutely. So we are so excited to have your expertise with us today. So today we want to talk about the after a dementia diagnosis. It's obviously a very scary time with a lot of emotions. And so can we just start with the basics of dementia and what that looks like, the stages, progression, just what someone might expect when they start hearing that word?
Well, it's important to know that the term dementia refers to a group of symptoms. It actually isn't a diagnosis in and of itself. It's saying that you're experiencing symptoms that are impacting your thinking, your memory, your judgment. And so it's really important when somebody is experiencing those symptoms to see a doctor to get a really good workup and identify what are causing those symptoms. Yes, it could be something like Alzheimer's, the most common form of dementia that we hear about, but it also could be other types of dementias, vascular dementia, Lewy body dementia. But it could also be things like I'm taking two medications that are interacting with one another. I have an infection in my body that hasn't been treated and it's impacting my cognitive abilities. It could also be that I'm depressed, and that also can impact my ability to think clearly and use good judgment. So it's really important. I really encourage people, if they have concerns, to see a doctor and really get a good workup and figure out what's going on.
And what are some things to watch out for, to pay attention to know when to go to the doctor?
Yeah, I mean, if what a person is experiencing is impacting their ability to live their life like they typically do, they should get checked out. It's things that are different. So I use the example, I'm a baker. I love to cook and bake. I've followed recipes all my life. So as I age, if I start to have trouble following a recipe, that's not normal, right? My husband's really good at managing money. He does the bills, he manages our finances, he's really good at that. If he starts to have issues as he ages, that's gonna be a warning sign because that's something he's always been good at. Having a piece of equipment, you've had the same oven, the same microwave, the same TV for years, you've known how to use it. Now you're having trouble using that that familiar piece of equipment, not talking about new technology, that's hard for all of us. That's not normal to start to have trouble with those things. Getting lost in familiar areas, again, not normal. It doesn't necessarily mean, oh my gosh, you have Alzheimer's or dementia, but something's not right, and it's important to get checked out.
100%. So let's say a family does get diagnosed with a form of dementia. What are typically the next steps that you would recommend?
So one of the first things I recommend for families is to educate themselves. Knowledge is power. And so really reaching out and finding out all they can about the diagnosis, what resources are out there, what sort of things do they need to do next. But with that being said, it's also important to be cautious and understand that everyone else's journey isn't your journey. Just because we read and you hear about the stages and oh my gosh, when is dad gonna forget me? That doesn't mean that's your journey, and that doesn't mean that's your dad's journey, but it does empower you to know, hey, this is what I could be looking for.
That's a really great point. That, some people have preconceived notions of it, but it's good to be prepared, but that might not be what actually happens.
Yes.
So we're obviously here in a senior living community that offers memory care. What are benefits of living in a community with a specialized memory care program?
So the benefits are really about supporting my success, me being, if I'm the person living with dementia. How can I be successful living my life, still maintaining independence, maintaining function, and slowing progression. It is still possible to live well with dementia, and having a specialized memory care neighborhood that's designed to support me where I need that support, just kind of be there when I need it, is so much better than just kind of being in a place that maybe I don't have that support, and so I'm making mistakes, I'm doing things maybe that aren't safe, or I'm isolating myself because I don't feel comfortable in my environment or around the people that I'm around. Because so then I'll start to to isolate myself, loneliness, isolation. I mean, all those things are only going to make me decline faster.
And we've seen a lot where folks will move into assisted living, and then the memory care option is there if you need it. And can you just expand on that a little bit more on how that can be an option for people?
Yeah, I mean, it's important to understand, one, just having a diagnosis of dementia doesn't automatically mean that you need the specialized memory care neighborhood, okay? It really is about where can I best have my needs met and be supported for success. So assisted living communities are great, if I just need help here and there, right? With certain parts of my day, with doing certain tasks of activities of daily living. Right, I might need help with just making sure that I take my pills, that I'm taking the right ones. Okay, no big deal. Or just reminders, hey, come down to lunch. Okay, great. In a specialized memory care neighborhood, it's that type of assistance, but it's more enhanced, and it's provided by people that are specially trained to provide that support in a way that I can better accept. So they know me really well. They know what I'm going to have trouble with and how the best way to support me is. They know okay, AJ's going to need help with this part of the meal, but then once I get her started, she can finish and I can back off. It's being in an environment that is specifically designed to help me be successful. Having cues, contrasting colors, signs, things that are in the environment that are going to help me find my way more successfully. And then opportunities for me to connect with my peers, opportunities for me to engage in things that work my brain, that work my body, all those things that we know are going to enhance and maintain function for somebody living with dementia.
So let's talk about if a family does decide that a memory care community is the right choice for their family, they start looking around. What are some things that you would recommend to keep an eye out for when you're starting to tour these communities?
Yeah, so I always tell families, certainly looking at the physical environment is important. Of course, you want it to be clean, to smell nice, to be well kept and well designed. But really look beyond that. We talk a lot at the Arbor Company about the emotional environment. How does it feel? Does it feel warm and welcoming, or does it feel cold and sterile? Talk to the people that work there. Do they like it? Do they seem happy? Do they enjoy their work? I mean, these are the people that are going to be supporting mom or dad. And typically, if they enjoy their work, this is probably a good place to be. So really looking at that emotional environment. How is mom going to be supported? What sort of helping techniques do they utilize? Are they going to just take over and do everything for her? Or are they going to continue to support her to do the things that she can still do? What sort of opportunities is she going to have a meaningful day? Is it things that she's interested in? Look at the calendar. Are there things that mom enjoys? Are there things that is going to enhance her function? Or is she just going to be, kind of isolated in her apartment all day?
And those are great things to keep in mind, especially such a involved time of making that decision. Yeah. So one more question for you before we let you go. You made a great comment earlier about one of the first steps after receiving, hearing that word is to get educated and really start to understand what you might be dealing with. What are some good resources that are available to seniors and their families?
There's a ton of resources out there, and it really can be overwhelming. Two really good ones just right off the bat are the Alzheimer's Association and the Alzheimer's Foundation. Both have great online websites with resources. Many of them have local chapters, so that they can provide local resources and local support. Another really good resource is TIPA Snow's Positive Approach to Care organization. They have ongoing education series, webinars, and they also do consultations with families as well. So that's a really good resource. The number one resource I encourage families to look into is to find a support group. Whether it's online, whether it's local where you go in person, there is such value in being with other people that are going through the same thing you are. There are support groups that can be very specific to dementia, so a Lewy body dementia support group. There's support groups that are specific to the relationship, so a support group for spouses of people living with dementia, a support group for adult children. So really looking, and maybe have to try multiple ones to find one where you feel comfortable, but find one. And that's so important. You're not alone in this, and finding support is incredibly important.
Yes, that makes so much sense, being able to connect with people who are going through a similar experience.
Absolutely.
Well, AJ, I cannot thank you enough for sitting down with me. This was so informative, and I'm sure that you have helped a lot of our viewers.
Thank you.
Absolutely. All right, everybody, if you would like to watch more videos like this one and learn about more senior living topics, you can go to seniorlivinglive.com. And for now, that's it, everybody. Thank you.